Microsoft says Xbox needs 30% profit margin, higher than the average in the whole video game industry. Krafton, the publisher and developer for PUBG, is saying they are an AI first company with a complete reorganization of the company's operation and development systems. That is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. My name is the Techno Jelly. Please hit that subscribe button. I do these videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Let's get into the video. It's been rumored for a while that Microsoft was forcing Xbox, or more like demanding for Xbox to have a 30% profit margin, and now revealed by Bloomberg reporters Diana Bass and Jason Schreier, Microsoft's CFO Amy Hood is asking Xbox to meet an accountability margin of 30%, which is basically a profit margin of 30%. It's a more diplomatic way to say that, basically. And that 30% is a very much higher than the average of the video game industry. And this explains a lot of the decisions Xbox has been making with all the cuts to basically everything. They've been cutting studios, they've been cutting staff, they've been cutting budgets, they've been cutting marketing budgets, they've been laying off people, they've been canceling games, closing down studios. I think I said that already, but it's been a lot of things. And that's not even including all the price increases as well that Microsoft's been doing. But with the knowledge of the fact that it is now a 30% expectation from Microsoft, from Xbox, it makes a lot of sense. The $80 price tag, the increase of Game Pass, everything's being put into place. And now when Bloomberg did report this, they did get a response from Microsoft. And it was reported, they said in a response or a statement sent to Bloomberg, "We take a long-term view in how we run our business and set goals. We aim high, but stay flexible, knowing that success doesn't look the same across every project or priority. We look at the business as a whole, balancing creativity, innovation, and sustainability across a diverse portfolio of offerings. As well, any creative business, sometimes that means making hard decisions and stopping work on things that are no longer working for a variety of reasons, and shifting resources towards the projects that are more aligned with our direction and priorities. And while each team and project might vary from each other, one goal we share across the whole business is to make great games and deliver experiences our players will enjoy for years to come." Now, this statement is the biggest PR empty statement I've ever seen, because what I see in this statement personally is that they are saying that we don't believe in the gaming side of Microsoft anymore. They don't necessarily believe Xbox can be a profitable or a hugely profitable option now for Microsoft. Because I'm not saying Xbox isn't making money. Of course they are making tons of money, but they aren't making the money that the AI or the chips business is making right now, which is what Microsoft cares about right now, because the crazy amount of money and shareholder value is in AI. And that is where they are shifting with huge investments to AI, and they're just pumping that bubble like crazy, it seems. And with all that money, there needs to be cutbacks on other places. And it turns out that Xbox is going to be that place. And I honestly think this 30% profit margin was made it so Xbox had to start cutting things, because there's no way Xbox was going to be able to hit that 30% market or 30% profit margin with just releasing very good video games. Because even during the pandemic, the average profit margin in the video game industry during the pandemic was like mid-20s. And right now it's high teens, low 20s. So even during the pandemic, when everyone was literally trapped inside, video game profit margins weren't 30%. So 30% for Xbox right now, when they are nowhere near that, from what I can tell, it's around 10 to 12%. There has to be some major lot cutting in order to make that 30% profit margin. So it makes sense why Xbox has been doing all of this stuff. And it really sucks for all the companies that Microsoft bought for Xbox, or specifically all the developer studios that they bought, because they've just lost their jobs because Microsoft decided that Xbox wasn't worth it anymore. And along with the fact that they purchased Activision Blizzard King, which was definitely a big hole in the pocket of Microsoft and a huge purchase. And there's just no way that the smaller teams and the smaller studios were ever going to make as much money that Call of Duty was going to make, which is one of the reasons why they bought it. But even with that purchase, it's been seen that Call of Duty isn't making as much money as it used to. So it seems that Microsoft has just done it's been so many bad decisions in so many different ways. It's hard to see just how many different bad things they've done. But with all those bad decisions, the overarching bad decision is the expectation of 30% profit margin, because it's forced Xbox hand into just saying, we need to make more money right now. And the best way to do that is to cut staff, cancel games, increase prices as many ways as possible and hope for the best. And unfortunately, the best is that. And there are some like glowing lights in the darkness, like Obsidian right now for Microsoft or Xbox specifically, because they've been releasing really good games and they've been selling pretty decently. But overall, I just don't see this lasting too much longer. I can't see how Xbox survives this with the new Xbox coming soon, with tons of rumors about them. Maybe that can turn it around for them, but it does feel like Microsoft is kind of just not even paying attention. They're like, everyone right now in Microsoft is making crazy amounts of money. You also need to make crazy amounts of money. And they're just not looking to specifically what the video game industry is. It's the overarching business decision that Microsoft is doing. And in that overarching decision, 30% is probably fine, for profit margin, especially in like the tech side of Microsoft, which Xbox is technically part of that tech game side. But it's just not the same. It's just really different. But the thing is that Microsoft doesn't care to look closer. It's just an overarching decision, it seems like, and it just really sucks. And I really hope that they can figure something out other than just canceling projects, because it does feel like they're up against a wall and the only decision is to cancel stuff. Because I was really looking forward to some of those canceled games like Perfect Dark and even Contraband. Even though we didn't really know about them, they sounded interesting. Perfect Dark looked like a modern day version of Deus Ex, which is, I really wanted a Perfect Dark like that, and then we're unfortunately never going to get it. And apparently it was actually really close to being done. Like, I'm not saying like months, but like it was only a couple years away. Same with Contraband, and it just seems like it's a constant management problem in every single aspect. And I'm curious what's going to happen with the higher ups at Xbox, because in that area, it feels like they have failed. Xbox upper management has definitely failed in the goals of being profitable. I mean, I guess they still are profitable, but growing. I think the problem is growth. That's the problem with Microsoft. They are still profitable, but things are down. Things are no longer growing. They're in decline. And that's a problem other than Xbox Game Pass. But even with the increase of growth in Xbox Game Pass, that came with the decline of other things, because there's very little reason to own an Xbox now. Unless you already have one, Xbox Game Pass is a great purchase. But if you don't have an Xbox, you really shouldn't bother purchasing an Xbox or Xbox Game Pass. Like, you could get PC Game Pass, sure, but like there's no reason for you. Like, if you want console gaming, you should get a PlayStation or a Nintendo console. And honestly, for most people it's Nintendo, because Nintendo, they'll never release their games on PC or any other console. And PlayStation, eventually they launch their games on PC, and Xbox, it's day one on other consoles and PCs. So like there's no reason to own an Xbox at all. So when you're going for console gaming, you go for Nintendo now, pretty much only. Like, and there are obviously the PlayStation fans as well, but like if you're not patient enough for the PC versions. But Xbox has failed as a brand, it feels, because like there's no reason to do anything with Xbox, and it sucks because it feels like there's still a lot of left for Xbox, but it just feels like such terrible management in so many ways that I just unfortunately don't really see happening, because Xbox specifically is doing badly, but Microsoft as a whole is doing really well. So I don't know, maybe the upper management of Xbox needs to go. But then again, the 30% profit margins is by the higher ups. It's by the CFO. So, of Microsoft, not Xbox. So it's not looking good, but who knows? Maybe they can make a comeback. I hope they can, but it looks like Microsoft right now only cares about pumping money into the AI bubble. And right now, Xbox is the punching bag for that money. Next, let's start talking about something similar, but Krafton announced that they are going to be an AI first company on a news board that is in Korean, so it was translated to English. So there could be some small details wrong, but we can definitely get the gist of it being in English. The CEO of Krafton, and I'm just gonna have to apologize in advance, Kim Chang-hang, said, starting today, Krafton will automate work centered on AI, Adjutant AI, and fully implement an AI-centered management system where members focus on creative activities and complex problem solving. Now, once again, this is translated, so it could be a little, the words do sound a little weird, but once again, translated. So this means Krafton is turning itself into a AI focused company, obviously. And what that means is specifically is they're putting down 100 billion Korean won or $69.7 million in investment for a GPU cluster for sophisticated reasoning and iterative planning for AI. Another 30 million won or $20.8 million to retrain its workforce in AI tools. And this is seemingly what they are planning to do, along with a complete restructure of the company, which is one of the reasons why they are doing the extra money for the training. But all of this is expected to be done and around the second half of 2026. Other than the training I think is happening now from what we can tell, or not now, but like it's happening soon. But the GPU investment is expected to take in effect 2026, but the money has already been invested. But the products, I guess, is not expected to anything to be big until 2026. But Krafton wants to be the lead when it comes to R&D and AI services for video games, which is a really interesting take on the AI stuff, though I'm not entirely sure if this is the correct direction for them, simply because AI seems like an incredibly huge risk and gamble right now, because the bubble is getting so big that if Krafton is in there when it bursts, I see really bad things happening, like layoffs, cutting corners hard, because Krafton is not a crazy huge company like something like a Microsoft or an Nvidia. You know, Krafton is certainly doing well for themselves, but in terms of like when you think of investment companies, most people don't think of Krafton. Now, to be fair, that is also because of language barrier for a lot of people, but Krafton, while big, isn't gonna be able to survive if that bubble bursts, I feel like. And it feels oddly risky for them specifically, because like in the gaming industry they are known for PUBG and basically that's it. They did buy they did do the Subnautica as well, and they also bought the Microsoft studio that really made Hi-Fi Rush. But like it's not that big. Now, to be fair, PUBG Mobile is a huge game in Asia, so like they are racking in the crazy amounts of money for that. But it feels a little strange that they've decided to go almost all in, from at least my perspective, for AI. Now, they are going it in somewhat a better way, because they aren't like investing in Nvidia or putting in different things. They are investing in a GPU cluster for something very specific, for reasoning and iterative planning. So they are seemingly going for something very specific, and they're going for a specific side of AI. So it might be it's slightly safer, and they are also putting the money down for training. So it's like they're not trying to replace people, which is generally what I have a big problem with AI, is that a lot of AI is trying to replace people in creative industries, and it just doesn't work that way. AI is not good enough and will never be able to replicate human creativity. It's just not the same thing. Like AI being able to help people be creative is a thing. Like it is a great thing, in fact, and it looks like, at least from what I can tell, that's what Krafton's trying to do, because it is trying to be a strong contender for AI R&D and in-game AI services. So like maybe that's a little bit better than just trying to be like, oh, we're trying to replace people because of the art and like the coding and AI video games. It doesn't sound super like they're trying to do that. It's more about putting AI into tools and training people how to use those tools properly, which sounds like a good idea. But the problem is I just don't necessarily agree with the amount of money being pushed into it all at once. Krafton now, once again, seems to be playing it safe but also risky at the same time, because like I don't know if putting money into AI right now is a good thing, because that bubble seems to be really big and it could burst at any moment, it feels like, and anyone that gets caught in that burst feels like they're going to get destroyed, they're going to get decimated. And places like Nvidia, sure, they're going to lose tons of money, but they're still going to have tons of money left over. And Krafton, while they have tons of money, are definitely in a weaker spot, I feel. So that what makes it more risky, in my opinion. I hope it goes well, only because I don't want to see, like, you know, I don't like it when people lose their jobs and everything falls apart. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be a good thing if it falls apart. And like generally it's never a good thing when it falls apart, but sometimes losses can be handled. But if this blows up, I just feel like it's a really bad thing, because I feel like AI is going to be useful in like a 3 to 5 year period, and it feels like everyone's trying to race to it to be good now. And it's just not going to happen. It's not going to be good now. You need years and years of tools being developed and things being done in order for this to be good. And also along with all that, AI doesn't make money. So like, are they going to get this 100 billion won back or 69 million point $7 back? Probably not. Like, they're not making that money back. The money spent on training I can understand, because you're trying to train people and that's an investment of your workforce, and I get that. But I don't see them making the money back for the GPUs specifically, because a lot of these GPUs, they have like a year or two lifespan. So like, when it's finished in 2026, you're going to use them until 2028, maybe 2029, and then they're done. At least from how I understand how these GPUs generally work, because like, it's heavy usage of them. Like, it destroys the GPUs. Like, it's being heavy use for the AI takes a toll on these GPUs, and maybe that's what they're trying to fix or help. But it feels like you're not getting the 100 billion won back. So what's the plan, since there's like basically a guaranteed if there isn't getting that money back? And I hope that is the plan. I hope the plan is to figure out, or like the plan has been set that they're not getting that money back, because if the plan is to make that money back with the GPUs, that's the bubble that I feel like is a problem. Like, the training I agree with, but the amount of money being pushed into GPUs and stuff like that, I just don't see the product. I just don't see the product that they're trying to make. So, I mean, hopefully I am wrong, because like I said, I don't want to see tons of people's lives be ruined because of this, and especially because it's probably going to be the people that aren't making the decisions. It's going to be the developers and the studios, especially of Krafton. And I feel bad for the Hi-Fi Rush devs, because they just got out of a bad situation with Microsoft, and now they're back in, and the head company is talking about AI and stuff like that, and they're like, oh god, they might be having horrible flashbacks. So I hope they survive, basically, because I want more Hi-Fi Rush games, or not like specifically Hi-Fi Rush, but I want them to make more games. So I hope they survive if it does burst. But if it doesn't, I'm going to be really sad. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, if you agree with me on the whole AI bubble stuff. I personally am in agreement of a lot of people. It feels like that it is a bubble and it is going to burst. But if you don't agree with me, let me know what you guys in the comments. If you think Krafton's decision is right or wrong, let me all know in the comments down below. But that is today's video. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. I completely understand. If you would like to support me directly, please go over to my Patreon at patreon.com/thetechnojelly. You can join all of these nice people going across the screen right now. You get access to a once-a-month live stream and a poll to vote on that live stream, as well as some other nice perks. If you'd like to follow me on other platforms, I have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads, all at the Technojelly. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you on Friday. Goodbye, everyone.